Alright, I am live this evening. This will be one of the shorter streams. I'm just doing my dailies, and I might play a little bit of Trails Beyond the Horizon here. I spent the last hour basically getting the PS3, everything updated on the PS3. There's a lot of optional installs from old games. I'm down to Ridge Racer 7 and Eternal Sonata now. I don't know if those have optional installs, but if they do, then
will you cry out in
I may do that some other time.
Pain?
Feast your eyes on the lovely and lethal FFXIV! Will the challenger fall prey to the cruel mistress?
Come, my pets. This is my show. I will hear you scream.
We may discuss computer hardware on the stream if you guys want to talk about like memory or motherboards or something. I did notice that on some of the streams recently people have asked about motherboards, and I feel like I haven't addressed that as in-depth as I normally do, so we may talk about motherboards if you guys want. Oh boy, we're over to that thing.
You will become a stain.
Oh, I walked into it by mistake.
The challenger has nowhere left to run! Oh, not fast enough, I'm afraid.
Seems like after this part of the fight, she changes the properties of that move that she does that hits half of the arena.
This is just the beginning. My faithful minions, give me your ether.
It's begun!
I almost forgot to do this. I would not have done this if I had done it earlier in the week.
All of you will feed me.
Time to tell to unleash the ether! The challenger's in her realm now. They're down. Can they recover from this? And they're back in action. Can they turn the tide?
You are a stubborn one, but it is not too late to beg for mercy.
The spectacle of slaughter resumes. How will the challenger adapt?
I need more ether!
He's draining the crowd's ether again! I hope our dear spectators are feeling alright.
Yeah, this move. When she does this move in the second half of the fight, it's like you have to stand all the way on the other side of the circle. At the very beginning, it was more like you had to stand halfway.
In pain lies pleasure.
She's unleashed even more ether! How will this end?
Yeah, he's doing the thing again.
They're up! What fighting spirit!
Hey, Mark.
Looks like someone isn't holding back.
Oh no. Oh, two of them. Stand together. Have you ever played this game? Yesterday we were looking at Final Fantasy 13. Now I'm looking at Final Fantasy 14.
Damn you!
Final Fantasy 14, because I remember someone was asking, what about this game? Because when I was talking about, I was comparing 13 and 15, and they're like, well, what about 14? Well, we don't compare 14, and this is the reason why we don't compare it. It's too different. It's an MMO. It looks very complicated, doesn't it? This is multiplayer. Oh, they put too many of them. Doing the thing again. Group speed is a little bit slow. Alright. Yeah, I'm doing this for the weekly.
It's all over. Until next
I guess since I won the gloves on that other one, I'll roll on that. I mean, I'm gonna need on pretty much everything because I need to ensure that I get something. I don't want to repeat this. It's really different. Yeah, everybody needs to know what to do. Everyone needs to know how to do their job. They literally call the classes in the game jobs for that reason. Wait a minute, did I... Okay. What did I win? Oh, I won this thing. Okay. Two more. There's supposed to be a game that it's based out in the Horizon universe. I don't know if it's coming out this year or next year, but it's a mobile game and a PC game, but it's a Sony property, And it's not coming out for PlayStation, which is surprising. I think it's called Horizon Frontiers. It looks a lot like Monster Hunter combined with this game.
This will be a tag team match of extreme.
Basically, you have 3 different jobs. You have the tank job, which is what I'm doing. Which your job as a tank is to hold the boss's attention so that your allies don't get attacked.
My word, such scorn for the challenger.
Then there's the healer role. And then there's...
Oh, what fearsome
That was kind of dumb of me. I should have moved it further out. I'm gonna move over here. Then there's the DPS role, which is self-explanatory. Just deal damage. Most people play as DPS. The way I've noticed it though, to make it in a comparison to the real world. Do I have it? No. The tanks and the healers are more like management roles. They're more like supervisor, managerial, director level jobs, sort of. When it comes to like having to explain things, take leadership position. The DPS are more like just, you know, individual contributor roles.
Deep Blue's lost his cool. He's tapping in.
Most people play as DPS, which is analogous to the real world, because in the real world most people are not managers and supervisors. Like they just don't want that responsibility. They just want to be responsible for their own performance. Whereas the tank and the healer, they carry more responsibility, because if they mess something up, it's very visible. And the group suffers more when they mess up compared to, like, if the healer messes up, and the healers probably carry the most responsibility in this game. They have the most impact. They can make the most impact. Okay, I need to go over here. See, the tank's gonna get hit with all these big markers.
Let's do this together.
When I was less experienced at the game, I used to play as a DPS primarily, and then I started playing as a healer, and then I discovered that the tank is the easiest job, but it has a lot more responsibility than the DPS. But it's the easiest role to get caught up in the game, because, like, I don't play this game hardcore anymore, so I don't have a lot of because I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to this game. I just play as a tank because I don't have to wait around. Like, if I want to catch up, I just play as a tank, go in, and I don't have to wait in line. I basically get insta-queue. Like, I click a button and it's ready, and it's like I have a whole group waiting to go. Healer is the same way, but healer carries more responsibility in the sense that if the healers die due to just not playing well, it is very, very detrimental to the group. More so than if the tank is playing poorly. But if the tank is playing poorly at high level, it'll show. It'll show, and it's very bad for the group. But tanks, I feel like, have more lenience. The game is more lenient toward tanks playing poorly compared to healers playing poorly. Because tanks don't die that easily. Like, if I make a mistake, like I already made a mistake, because I can see I have a vulnerability stack at the top of the screen there, to the right, that shows that I made a mistake. If I was playing as a healer, or if I was playing as a DPS, that would be more severe to me, because I'm more squishy. As a tank, I can take multiple hits, meaning I can make mistakes, and I'm not instantly going to die.
I've been saving this trick just for you.
See, like this mechanic, I never actually learned what I'm supposed to do. Oh, I guess just stand like that. Okay. supposed to go like here? This has like a Mario Sunshine style vibe to it.
Bet you've never seen anything this gnarly.
Oh, I went the wrong way. Look, I'm gonna get. Okay, see? I made a mistake. So it shows now I have vulnerability stack. So I went the wrong way. And now I'm getting targeted by this. So we're gonna overlap this a little bit. So much of the arena is covered in fire.
If there ain't a wave to ride, just make one yourself.
I can't see. It's too confusing because like I did his limb break. I can't. Okay. All right.
It's all over. Until next time.
95 on this. I'm probably gonna win that then. What? I won the gauntlets? Okay, well that means I have another pair now. Alright, last one. One more. M3. Heavyweight. Am I online speaking with? No, I'm just doing this with randoms. I'm just doing this for the weekly. This time of the year, I'm not really that engaged with the game, so I'm not really talking to that many other players in the game. When the expansion was new, like last summer, or no, not last summer, the summer of 2024, I was actively playing this game with other players. But now, since then, not really. I just log in and I'm just basically doing this to keep up with the rest of the player base so I don't fall too far behind. I'm basically doing the latest raid endgame content, the heavyweight division, this stuff. Technically, I could run the 24-person raid, but I don't really feel like doing it. I really don't feel like running these. Let me see. Yeah, I have... Technically, okay, I really don't want Ordell coin. I don't care enough to do it, so I'm not gonna bother. Yeah, most people, they try to like cap their weekly, the currency thing. I don't even play, I'm so casual at the game that I don't even bother doing that. Like, I'm just trying to keep my 770 gear so that I can stay relevant with the story. I haven't even done the new story yet. Like, I just realized I haven't done that. We've streamed the Arcadian, but that's not the story. That's like just like optional stuff. Alright, this is the last one. Let's go.
At long last, the decisive match against the
I just rush. I just go in. I don't even wait. No countdown, no ready check. I just go in. If I'm tanking, I just go straight in. Speed run. It's just speed run. I don't care if people are gonna complain. I just go in. Because literally nobody cares. Everyone's here to just get this done as fast as possible. So no wasting time with a countdown.
Another attack evaded with a bomb. Once again, they slip beyond their opponent's reach.
You know, this one is probably my favorite of this raid tier. I think I like this one the most. It has mechanics that remind me of Diamond Weapon, and Diamond Weapon was my favorite EX. He's gonna do his cross pattern. He has 3 weapons. He has a sword, he has a scythe, and an axe. The axe means go away from him. The sword means stay. It'll be an X pattern. And the scythe, look, check this out. He's gonna go to the scythe, which is a donut AoE. So you stand near it. A donut. Then he's gonna go to the sword. That's a cross. So you get out of the way. I got hit because I messed up. And then this one you stay away from it. The axe. See? It's a lot of pattern memorization.
There is much more to come.
Now he's gonna do all of them at once. But people figured out the easiest thing, just go by the side. Stand next to the side. Use your range attacks.
Oh, the challengers holding their own.
It has been a long time since I've enjoyed myself so.
He knows no mercy, and he's never tasted defeat.
Stand together.
No more holding back. Prepare yourself, unenhanced warrior.
He's gonna go a lot faster now.
I beg your pardon? What is he going to do with all those weapons?
You gotta be careful, there's a tornado. He's gonna go again. The tornado pushed, the tornado saved me? The tornado saved me?
My reign is absolute. I will not lose.
He refuses to lose.
The tyrant altered his form. He looks even more tyrannical than before.
This is basically the Dark Tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho. That's basically what this is. I'm pretty sure that's where they got the concept from. The Dark Tournament.
Know the folly of challenging me unenhanced.
Alright, everybody's over there. I'm over here. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going over here. Stand on your markers. Protect the comet. Tanks. See, the tank must do this job. This is the job of the tank. Oh man, I need healing. Why is nobody healing me? Oh, that one blew up.
I will not yield my throne.
Everyone's going over there. Watch out, watch out.
Ray of power! He's unleashed the full might of the behemoth!
Oh, he's gonna split us in half. I like this part. This is the cool part. Oh, that guy barely survived. That almost was an Obi-Wan moment from Phantom Menace. Watch out. All right, I'm crossing. I'm crossing. I'm crossing. This is the left side. We have to go. We have to cross. We have to cross.
And now he's thrown the ring! What absurdity! The ring shall presently be restored.
I never noticed that the back of the arena gets an AoE. That little piece of it that's still there. This group is doing very good. This group CPS is very good.
Who's in the clash between fellow pride and mortal resolve? Either side can cut out her tongue.
The power of feral souls makes the Arcadian what it is.
It's all over. Until next.
Okay, I'm gonna roll on these. I really want one of these the most. Can I have one? Nobody needed anything. Those people all left. Most of them left. Without even rolling for anything. Why did they even show up? Were they looking for orchestration roll or something? Man, I want this thing. Okay, good job. Alright, you guys can... Whoever wants this. Whoever wants this. No, okay. I'm out. Alright, that's all I need to do. And that is all I do for this game right now. Every week. Once a week. Once a week. It resets every Tuesday. Or every Monday night. And that's basically how I play the game. That's what you call extreme casual. I play this game like an extreme casual right now. I basically just play the minimum amount so that I don't fall so far behind that I'm like locked out of content, you know what I mean? Because sticking around 770 item level is good enough. It means that I could literally, technically I could stop playing this game now and then until the next expansion, and then I wouldn't be too far behind, as far as I know. I mean, there is gonna be, let me see, it's like 7, what was it? 790, 690, 790. I think it'll be the final item level because this is 780. Yeah, so the augment would be 790. Yeah, 790 is the maximum for the entire game. Like, there's nothing better than 790. I think the relic will be like 795 or something when it's finally done. But that's basically it. So yeah, I haven't really done much of Dawn Trail stuff. Yeah, okay. Let's boot up this other game here. Or I could just do retro streaming again, but I said I wasn't going to do that, so I should stick to my word. Trails Beyond the Horizon. Yeah, I'm trying to think, is there any other game that I want to play this month besides this and Code Vein 2? Code Vein 2 is this month, right? Yeah, Code Vein 2 is January 29th on Steam. Onimusha Way of the Sword does not have a release date. And then for February, Resident Evil Requiem and Neo 3. Tales of Berseria Remastered is also in February. So where we left off, we were at the prologue. Wait, didn't we show this scene? Oh, no, we didn't. It was a different one. Or they were in Orid State. And they've crossed back over into the Calvert Republic nation. Wait, did they switch? They switch over and Vaughn's driving the motorcycle? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? No one would actually do that in real life. If you have car insurance for one car and your friend has car insurance for their car, you're not gonna like swap cars. Why? Like, why would they do that? Why is Vaughn... Wait, oh, because the master doesn't feel like driving or something? Factoring brakes and driver swaps, the trip back to Edith took 10 hours in total. Look at that ray-traced windshield. They arrived late at night into Old Town. Act 1, back to business.
Damn good breeze this morning.
Yeah, hey. I don't mind you letting in some fresh air, but at least give a guy a warning first.
Seems the band is back together once again.
If you need an open window that bad, maybe try not wearing a damn leather jacket in the middle of summer.
Tell that to the other old man sitting next to you, geezer.
Aaron
And
Way.
FYI, this thing's made for summer. It's the definition of light and breezy. Not to mention practical. It's loaded with ballistic and piercing resistant material. With this, I'll be wrapping up 4 SPGs left and right in style. And speaking of style, just look at me. I got that, talent, and looks to spare. I'm the whole damn package.
Too bad said package doesn't come with a bit of humility.
True, but one can hardly deny he wears it well.
Yeah, it totally fits his vibe. And that goes double for you and your new look, Katra.
You think? I normally go for darker colors myself, but Agnes and Judith recommended this, so yeah. Oh, I also made the headset I use to control my drones more compact, hence me not having that over my ears.
Confirmed. Heat dissipation efficiency has thus increased by 30%.
Well, at least one of us seems prepped for summer. That fits nice and slick, and it doesn't cramp your style either. Suits you to a T.
You bet it does. I've got a pretty darn discerning eye, if I do say so myself.
I suppose this is one of the perks of having an actress as a friend. Honestly, I forget you're celebrities sometimes.
Why
and
is
how
a movie
approachable
star
you are.
hanging around these people?
I forget because of the cat suit she's always running around in. You know you're never beating the Kingster allegations, right?
I don't need to because I'm not a Kingster! Oh, I'm so over this.
Teasing aside, you really do look wonderful. All refreshed and ready for summer.
Aw, thanks! I like the outfits you and Barry picked out too. But wow, Agnes. Save some of the spotlight for the rest of us, why don't you?
I must agree.
Please, it's really nothing that special.
On the contrary, I can hardly imagine an outfit more befitting a lovely young lady like yourself.
Thank you very much. I actually had a hard time picking this one out, believe it or not. If it weren't for Judith, Fairy, Ren, and Odette's input, I probably would have walked out of the store empty-handed. I was so indecisive. Only because you look good in everything you tried on.
Don't sell yourself short. You chose that one in the end after all, so own it. We all think you look great. Don't we, Van? What say you?
Force in my hand, huh? I mean, I like the old outfit just fine. But yeah, this one's nice too. It's the perfect blend of casual and refined, and I can tell the tailoring work is top of the line. Looks great on you, really.
Thank you, Van. I'm really happy you like it.
Holy shit, a genuine compliment? From this socially inept dumbass? Say it ain't so.
It seems like you can teach an old dog new tricks after all. I'm almost jealous of her, honestly.
I really like your outfit too, Van. Oh, and that goes for everyone else, of course. I was cooped up at school taking finals through yesterday, so this is my first time getting to see everyone's new looks.
Ah, yeah. Still, the main reason we were able to get everyone together was because you finally got a few days off. All right, enough small talk. I want to go over a couple things. Namely, what we learned from Marduk, like how these new shard functions work, and also how we're going to respond to this whole space program shebang, depending on what happens with it.
So, to check my understanding, the plan is to split our 4SPG work into morning and evening shifts, correct?
You got it. I'm guessing that the program's second phase being pushed forward by half a month has thrown damn near everyone for a loop. And you can bet we'll be feeling the fallout from that mess one way or another. Just think about how slammed we were up through last month.
Fair point.
Don't remind me. I actually had to bust my ass for once.
With the influx of wealth pouring into the Republic, thanks in no small part to the revitalized economy, many criminal organizations, both in and out of Calvard, are looking to take advantage of the situation.
Same goes for all the new conmen, gangsters, black market brokers, and shell companies who come knocking to get a piece
Well, I
of
haven't
that
really
pie.
played the
I knew the
new
space
Ease
program was going to be a big
games
deal, but
that
I
much.
never
Like,
thought
I haven't
it
devoted that
caused
much
this
time
of a
to them.
fuss. Even the film industry is practically scrambling to push astronaut movies into production.
So I would have to say Trails, just because I've spent more time with the franchise. Like, I did play a little bit of Ease 9 and the very beginning of Ease 10, but I never finished either one of those games, so it's hard for me to say that I prefer Ease when I haven't spent as much time with that franchise. I like the old Ease games, like Ease 1 and Ease 2, like the sprite-based ones. Those I played and I beat 100%, but the newer ones, I don't know, like I haven't really spent too much time with them. The Trails games, though, I really like the remake of Sky. Trails in the Sky, I think, is my favorite one. overall. So I'm glad that they remade that one. And I hope they redo Crossbell too, because I never played the Crossbell games, and I've heard so much about them, but I never played them. And those were sprite-based games also. Cold Steel, I played most of it. I mean, I didn't play Cold Steel 2, but even me, like, as someone who skipped around the franchise, like, I didn't play all the games 100% from start to finish. I mean, I like the new ones. The battle system is smooth. I like the hybrid battle system where they have this mix of real time, but then you can also switch to the traditional turn-based style. So I like that flexibility that they introduced with Daybreak.
Wait, seriously? Huh, that sounds kind of neat. Oh, speaking of astronauts, Major Amelia is totally the talk of the town right now, isn't she? If I didn't know any better, I'd say her popularity is on the same level as Elaine's.
Yeah.
She has to be that same person, right?
Doesn't seem like she's bent on hiding it. We did hear that she was a major back during the coup, but the thought of her being a decorated ace pilot never even crossed my mind.
Then we have General Haring, commander of the Republican Air Force. It's a little hard to believe that she's the daughter of such an eminent figure within the military's top brass. During Operation Mille Mirage in the war 3 years ago, he was in charge of the entirety of the Republic's forces. I'm even told that, despite objections, he trusted Lieutenant General Bright enough to turn over command of Calvert's forces to him for a time.
Wow, that's kind of amazing. So he gave over full command to a general from another country? I've heard that even Dad, the president, trusts him implicitly.
There are many a rumor about him from those of the Papal Guard who participated in the operation, all of which attest to his remarkable reputation. He likely served as part of the backup unit for Cassius, and would have stepped in for him had he fallen on the front lines.
With all those key players in mind, along with the CID, Marduk, and Ikaruga, I don't know if we can take that space program at face value.
I think the
or not.
Calvert
But
characters
what I do
seem
know
more
is that it
interesting
might
than
have some connection
the
to
Cold
one of our
Steel
pending
ones.
cases.
Like, not just the main characters. I'm talking about more like the NPCs.
Last April, we successfully recovered the Octogeneses in their entirety. We heeded the warning left behind by their inventor, my great-grandfather, Professor C. Epstein. But that wasn't the only warning we heard regarding this.
This was an isolated incident. You haven't averted the end he foretold in his final entry.
Indeed.
That leaves us with less than 6 months. Seeing as we're already well into 1209 now, which means we can't afford to go about it at our leisure. If there's ever a time to act, it's now.
Yeah, we need to get on this like yesterday.
Fine, I guess I can help. Someone's gotta be there to carry your asses, and I'm just the man for the job.
Everyone, thank you.
As spirited as ever, I see. Seems my return to this merry crew was worthwhile indeed.
And I can speak for everyone in saying we're happy to have you back. Alrighty then, let's figure out where we're headed for our morning and afternoon shifts. But first, anyone got a preference for going or staying behind?
Oh, dibs on going. I haven't been able to pull my weight around here lately, what with all the events I've had to be at, so count me in.
I mean, I don't got a problem with that, but,
Didn't you have plans for this morning?
Huh? Do I?
Well, she's not going.
Judith? Where are you? The event begins in 30 minutes and we still have the pre-event meeting to do before that.
What? Nina, what are you talking about? Oh, crap! The Golden Requiem Fan Appreciation Event!
Judith, please don't tell me you forgot.
Who forgot? Not me. I was just getting ready to leave, which I'm doing right now. It's at Esprit Cinema in the Tyrell district, right? I'll be there in 15 minutes. Tell the directors thanks for waiting up. Bye!
Wait, Judith!
I am so sorry. I'll be done by this afternoon, so I'll catch up with you then. Good luck, you guys!
Well, someone's about to get chewed out. Hope she survives her latest tongue lashing from her grandma. Oh, speaking of, you've met her before, haven't you, Master?
Oh, Dominique? Yes, we've crossed paths on a number of occasions, from incidents both public-facing and otherwise. I understand she was a great help to you while she was working on that much-lauded collaborative
I
film.
can't remember if that event was in the first one or the second
You must mean
one.
Golden Requiem, Howl at the Dawn, the crossover between two of the biggest box office hits from last year. It's been enormously popular ever since its release back in April.
And it totally lives up to the hype. I've already seen it twice myself.
It's little wonder that they're so swamped with events and the like.
Alright, so what's the plan, Chief? Who's going where?
I'm thinking on that now. We're losing daylight, so let's figure out what we're gonna do, then roll out.
Everyone except one person? Oh, wait, so we can choose who goes? Oh, wait, so the only thing I can either choose... I can choose between Rosette staying behind or have the Master stay behind. Wait, why? He gets all the really good equipment, though. Can I change? Can I take his items? You can keep them. Alright, I guess we're going like this. Yeah, because these are all mandatory. Only Rosette is not mandatory. What does that do? Doesn't do anything.
You're in capable hands.
Wait, hold up.
Modifying. Switching
Oh
to
wait, she
maintenance
needs
mode.
an EX. GoldenEye.
New shard skill. Maintenance mode engage. You're in Don't worry. Citri's got your back. Maintenance. You're in capable hands. Oh!
You can have
Activating
the
maintenance
attack.
mode.
You can have the defense one, I guess, or EP one.
Don't worry. Citri's got your back.
Mind.
New skill added.
Let's tune her up.
Don't maintenance.
Okay, I think everybody has one. We're ready to go.
Shifting to maintenance mode. Modifying your orbment, are you?
Team members in reserve can be swapped out anytime. LT plus, what is that button? Forward? On the D-pad? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So they have like support skills. All right, let's go. We got 4 party members. Just goes into someone else's. Hey Francisco, what's going on? Just goes into people's, like, look at this. He just goes inside. This is such an RPG thing to be doing. Wait, why is there a robot dog on the roof? Zeros. Okay, there's like a robot dog just chilling. Absolutely, I will be playing Code Vein 2. My goal was to try to finish this game before Code Vein 2.
Okay.
This game. Why are there so many doors? What is this? Okay, there's like a bathroom. There's a toilet by itself. Oh, look, it's one of the fancy toilets. Where's the buttons, though? There's supposed to be control buttons on the wall.
Here goes.
Yeah, I'll be playing Code Vein 2. There's not a whole lot of games that I want to play this month. It's really just this game and Code Vein. Code Vein's at the very end of the month, though. So technically, Code Vein is kind of February. I will be playing Resident Evil. You're more concerned with the lack of toilet paper?
Good morning, birdies. You sound extra happy
Well, I think
today.
that the fancy toilet has a bidet.
You're working and eating early in the morning. Good job.
Come on, that's a low blow. I have been trying to be an early bird too, you know.
Have I tried DLSS 4.5? I'll try it if I play a game that uses
Morning,
it.
Humes. How
This
goes the
game,
swallow watching?
I checked this game's
Guessing pretty
graphic
well by
settings.
how
This game
chipper
has a
you
lot
are.
of graphic settings,
going
but it doesn't have
This Sunday school
DLSS.
project's been
It doesn't have any
super
upscaling.
Hey, Anya.
It has super sampling
Look at
though.
the baby chicks. They're bigger now, don't you think?
Oh, wow, they really have. I remember when they were just tiny nestlings.
Wasn't that nest only built a month ago? They grew up so fast.
It's nearly
What
time
about
for
you
them to
guys?
be
Have you
home.
guys played any games that use
Looks like
DLSS
they might have been put a
4.5?
little behind schedule this year.
I asked Mommy about that too, but she says they should be okay to fly away real soon.
Guess you can think of this as a limited time Monmar attraction. Might as well make the most of this chance to watch over them.
Yeah. I'm gonna be sad when they're gone. But that's okay. I'll just make tons and tons of memories with them before they go.
You may.
Flight Simulator uses it.
You've gone and grown up in the blink of an eye. Oh no, I can feel the old waterworks turning on.
Please try to hold it in,
old
Dad. It's too
waterworks.
early to be making a racket. Good morning, everyone. You're heading out earlier than usual. Ah, right. Is everything all right with Judith? I saw her scrambling out the door a moment ago.
Oh, that? Nah, she's good.
This is it. This
Just
is the
following
this
her
is what
usual
this game
routine.
does.
Wake up,
They
screw up.
can't stop yapping.
Thank you for making our breakfast this morning.
It's like
It
you
was
got to have
delicious as always.
6 or 7 people
Glad to hear it.
talking about
Good luck
breakfast,
with your work today.
standing in the middle
Man,
of a
Better
walkway.
not be thinking of slacking off just because you've got all your helpers with you. And cook yourself something decent.
You can see the guy in the background who sells the newspaper,
Remember,
reading the
You
newspaper.
are what you eat.
It's a nice touch.
Okay, I got it. You can get off your soapbox now.
You can use
Don't
the stream
worry.
as a bedtime
We'll make
story.
sure everyone, especially Van, has a proper meal.
I thought his
Okay,
name was
Yume, we're
Vaughn,
heading
not
out
Van.
now.
Okie dokie.
She pronounced his name as
Lots of fun,
Van.
everyone.
Van. What's his last name? Avia or Sienna or something? Van Sienna? Van Avio? What was that? What was the name of that Toyota minivan in the 90s? The iconic minivan. Does anybody know what minivan I'm talking about? When I was a little kid, I remember one of my uncles had one of those minivans. The Toyota, what was it called? Toyota Aveo? Toyota Aveo? No. Toyota minivan Aveo. What was the name of that minivan? Oh, Previa. Yeah, Previa. What was I thinking? Previa. Yes, that is. Because wasn't there like a movie? There was a movie growing up. Like, I think the movie was called Carpool. That movie, I think, features a Toyota Previa. I think. I'm pretty sure it had a Toyota Previa in it. Toyota Previa. Yeah, man, that's definitely it. I just looked it up. That is the iconic minivan. That was one of the coolest minivans, too. Because the thing about that minivan, I mean, I don't know how minivans are nowadays, but that minivan had the transmission stick, like, you know how a pickup truck has a transmission stick on, like, behind the steering wheel? Not, like, in the center column? That minivan had the transmission stick behind the steering wheel. And the center console, where the AC vents are and stuff, that thing looks so cool. That was the coolest minivan. They don't make minivans like that anymore. Van Previa. His name is Van Previa, the main character of the game. Alright, most of these systems, I believe... Hold on, how do you cook again? I probably should have read that. I think I can just go in here and cook something.
This place is so cozy, I might never leave.
Can I just cook? I forgot how to... I didn't pay attention.
Let's do this!
Man, so much dialogue. I probably shouldn't even talk to the characters.
More candy? Again?
Candy that looks like a real cigarette, but tastes of bitter chocolate. That cures ailments. I'll get one of yeah, we'll get one of these. A stimulating lemon and mint candy geared toward adults.
Stay out of trouble now.
The latest forecast for regions throughout the Republic. Mild, sunny conditions will be persisting across the greater Edith area. Temperatures are also looking to rise again as the day progresses.
So many characters, man.
Okay.
They all have to say something to the news.
Here goes.
The news store, wherever that store was.
It's gonna be another scorcher.
Out on another day of hard work, huh?
See, it plays a lot like Sky.
Looking is always free, you know.
Oh, we already have some of this stuff. These are the ingredients for cooking.
Come again. Looking is come again.
Sure.
Any non-membership viewers here? I mean, we've got some lurkers, I'm sure.
So much hustle and
We have like 13 viewers, and there's only like 3 or 4 people participating in the chat. Wait, what are these? Over my dead body. I'm going to outer space when I grow up no matter what, so there. Then I'll be a flight comptroller. No way, Mark. You should blast off with me. What? Sheena. Did you call me boring? No, I said boring ground stuff. What? These kids, man, why are they not in school? Is this a weekend? They need to go to class. Alright, Rebecca, take care. Try not to get too... Got it, I'll do my best. Rebecca the Eternal Shut-In, going out on her own. Wait, what? Van and the rest of Arkwright Solutions. This is part of the rehabilitate. Wait a minute, was she like a Hikikomori or something? What? Is this a character that I never even encountered in the first game? And now she's working as a repair person? Oh wait, hold on a second. She's a mechanic now? She can fix things? Did you guys have business here today? Dad's back home for now, so really put him in a grindstone. Roger that. Wait a minute, can these people fix broken PS3s? Can they fix like old fat PS3s that yell out of death? Wait, hold up. Can these guys fix broken PS3s? Fillencove. His name is Fillencove. Rebecca's much more proactive as well. Kisara moving in must have sparked a change of heart. It just goes to show you never can tell what bonds people may form or where they may lead. You can say that again. All the more when you consider how close the residents of Old Town are with each other. Okay, if I end up reading all the dialogue, we're gonna be here for like 9 hours. So we're not gonna read all of this.
What would you like?
So this guy does sell the good stuff. Why go to school in a world-ending if a world-ending threat shows up every month? Hey, it's not every month.
Come again.
That doesn't happen every month in this game. In this game world. It's probably like once every year or two or something. I don't know.
Come again.
Wait, the bargain bin. This guy sells stuff in bargain bins. Some shops will have some real bargains available. Let's see what he's got. Beast flesh. Monster meat with a very gamey taste. Beast essence. Nutritious extract harvested from monsters. Vitality droplet. An ancient potion that increases vitality. Hey, this thing just straight up increases base stats. Get this. Sold out. Okay, I need to be careful not to spend too much of my Mira. I only have like 7,000 left.
Come again. What would you like?
But he does allow you to synthesize quartz. But I don't have enough. I have like nothing right now. I see. Okay. So we can open quartz. I don't think I need to do that right now. Since I don't have anything to equip them.
Shifting to maintenance mode.
Come again.
Looks like he didn't have any bargain bin PlayStation 3s for sale. Yeah, we somehow ended up in a church. Hold on. Vicar Nikolai. Ah, Aaron, good morning to you. I greatly enjoyed our Sonda exercises the other day. What? Sonda? What? You gave the Vicar Eastern kickboxing lessons? Yeah, I know. Me playing teacher, he was the one who asked, though. So I walked him through the basics of Gekka. And you know what? The guy wasn't half bad. Your praise humbles me. Might I ask for another session sometime? Sure, no biggie. Gives me an excuse to ditch work. Shameless son of a... Sorry about him. Punk ain't exactly a model employee. Wait, why is this... Wait, Aaron's an employee? Since when did he start working for them? This story seriously feels like it's some kind of ripoff of Yu Yu Hakusho in some ways. It's like if Yusuke and Kuwabara grew up and had to go get a job. They would end up like this. Yeah, I'm on a Threadripper. It's because what I did recently, I went and put the 60 gigabyte PlayStation 3 in this computer so that it doesn't interfere with my other setup. So I have the 60 gigabyte PS3, which allows me to play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. And then, so that's on the left side of the desk right now. And then I have on the right-hand side of the desk, I have the PlayStation 5. And the PS5 gives me PS4 and PS5. So literally, with this Threadripper computer, I now have, like, all of the PlayStation games. Like, I mean, generations. Yeah, all the PlayStation generations are connected to my Threadripper PC via the two consoles. I have a feeling, because this whole cloud gaming thing that people keep talking about, I have a feeling that 60 gigabyte PlayStation 3 is going to be worth a lot of money someday. Because, you know, the other day, we were talking about PS3 and retro gaming. So I went and I looked up this thing. Hold on, let me find... Yeah, this. This is what I wanted to show. Hold on, where is... Yeah, check this out. This is pretty interesting. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this table. This table shows the timeline of all the PlayStation 3s. The ones in red on the far left of this chart, these are the only ones that have full PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility. The ones in the reddish pink color, or reddish orange color, it's just like red, I guess. The ones that say first generation. So you have the 60 gigabyte and the 20 gigabyte, and that's it. So the ones in yellow, so the European Union, the EU, the PAL regions, they never even got access to a full backwards compatible PlayStation 3. They got the yellow one, which was the second generation. So the EU really got screwed over when it came to the PS3 launch, because they only got the second generation, which basically doesn't have the emotion engine. It was physically removed from the motherboard. So all they have is the graphics synthesizer, which means they have about 75% backwards compatibility with PlayStation 2. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's not that good. I have a very old video on my YouTube channel showcasing examples of problems playing PlayStation 2 games on one of those second generation PS3s, which is my very first PS3. The one that came with Metal Gear Solid 4, which is the 80 gigabyte NTSC, this yellow 80 gigabyte one. So I got mine in June of 2008. If you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here, where the mouse is, that's when I got mine. So by the time I got my PS3, they already discontinued production of all of the ones that have full backwards compatibility. That means that as time goes by, I mean, you look at this chart, the pool of PlayStation 3s that have full backwards compatibility with PlayStation 2 is such a small number compared to the total number of PS3s that were manufactured total, which was like almost 88 million consoles. So the smallest amount was a 20 gigabyte. The 20 gigabyte, man. The 20 gigabyte. It has a 20 gigabyte hard drive and no Wi-Fi. But Japan got the best deal because they kept manufacturing these full backwards compatibility, these full Magic PS3s in Japan for that region. So you might go on eBay and you might look up backwards compatible PS3 and it might say A00 or B00. If it says A00 or B00, it means it's a Japanese fully backwards compatible PS3. But the problem with the Japanese ones are, though you can play American region or whatever region, Asia region, PS3 games on them, you can only play Japanese PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 games on them because PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 had region lock enforcement on the PS3 console. So it's funny because, like, man, the Japanese consoles, they have the most backwards compatible because they kept manufacturing them all the way until the end of 2007. But the rest of the world, mainly the North American region, I guess maybe South America falls into the Americas region. So I don't know how Brazil did. So maybe Marcelo knows the answer to this. Did Brazil get the 60 and the 20 gigabyte PS3? The A01 and the B01? So basically the ones that can play these two right here, CECHB, CECHA. These are the ones that have full PS2 backwards compatibility. You know, all this talk about cloud gaming, when it comes to retro gaming, the PlayStation 3 is officially classified as a retro console. At first, I didn't want to believe that, because that was like, oh man, how is PS3 and 360 retro? Well, they actually are when you think about it, because someone was telling me, he's like, you do realize that the PlayStation 3 is old enough to drink. That means that it's retro, because it's a machine. It's way over 7 years old. It's way over 10 years old. It's like 2 decades old, just about. It's like 19 years old. So, it's retro. It's actually not old enough to drink in the US, but in some parts of the world it is. Well, the 360 is. Well, no, 360 is just over 20 years old. PS3 is like 19 years old. You only got the PS3 by Sony in 2009? Oh, Brazil only got the slim one? Green one? Oh, wait, no, the green one's not the slim one. The blue one here, 4th generation, is the slim. 5th generation is the super slim. So you can see the super slim had the longest production run without any physical changes. But the slim, you know, you had the 120 gigabyte, the 250 gigabyte, the 160 gigabyte, and the 320 gigabyte. All 4 of those SKUs are slim. PS3 Slim. 120 gigabyte and 250 gigabyte are the 2000 and the 2100. I do not recommend those if you're in the market for a PlayStation 3. I personally recommend either the 160 gigabyte, that's the one that I have, or the 320 gigabyte. Those are very good. Very good. Probably the best. They're the best looking. They are the highest quality. Meaning, once you go to the Super Slim, the Super Slim has that really, you know, cheap sliding door for the Blu-ray drive. It's just kind of, if you're buying that used, you don't know if the previous owner, like, touched the laser lens or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd avoid those. So the Slim is the good one, man. 4th generation is the most reliable one. It is absolutely the most reliable one. It is silent while gaming. It is low power because the NVIDIA GPU in it, I think it only pulls like 35 watts. You know, it's insanely efficient. for the fourth generation. But the old one is like 80 watts on the GPU plus like, I think like 90 watts or something on the cell processor. So you're at like 200 watts of electricity while gaming on the old one that can play PS2 games. So really, really big difference. You only got imported fat models? Yeah, that must be real expensive. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, so I have this one here. It's on my desk. This one, this is a Japanese PlayStation 3. This one, I got it from somebody in Japan. Unfortunately, it's kind of useless for me because I don't have any Japanese PS2 games. I could jailbreak it, but that doesn't change anything because I don't have any Japanese PS2 games. So, you know, I don't know. But this is a B00. B00 means Japan. If it was B01, it would be America, or it would be like the NTSC market for the West. But this is, so I can say I have a Japanese PlayStation 2, and it's one of those 20 gigabytes. It's that black trim. You know, it still has the 4 USB ports, but it does not have the memory card, and it has no Wi-Fi. So it's become like a furniture decoration in my room now, on my desk, because it's like, I can't really use, I mean, I guess I could use it to play PS3 games, but why would I risk that thing dying to yellow light of death playing PS3 games when the main reason why people want those consoles is to play PS2 games? You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to be able to play PS2 games with upscaling, 16:9 support, and progressive smooth filters. So it's not like 480i with aliasing and jaggies everywhere on an HDMI monitor. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main reason why people want those PS3s. Not because of PS3 games. It's because of PS2 games. Because if I was going to play PS3 games, I'd just play it on my Slim. Like, why would I... You know what I mean? Like, why risk killing an old... Like, a nearly 20-year-old console from Japan just to play some PS3 games? So... Yeah. But, I don't know. I've been stuck in this, like, retro thing because somebody said you should do a retro stream. Oh, okay. Well, once I dove into the deep end, man. I just went into the deep end and went all in on retro gaming recently. But boy, did I have to work on those consoles. I had to fix my Xbox. I kind of fixed my GameCube. Although I don't trust it, I need to really, like, do more with it to permanently fix it. I ended up buying a Wii. I bought a 360. I fixed up my PS2 because it had a dead battery inside. Yeah. Just so much stuff. PS3, 60 gigabyte PS3. So much stuff. I've spent so much time on retro consoles. If you consider PS3 retro, but I mean, technically GameStop considers it retro. So if GameStop says it's retro, it must be retro. But yeah. I have this one, 80 gig, this one. So the only PS3 that I do not have is this green one. Meaning I don't have one of these 3rd generation PS3s. The ones labeled in green here, either the 40 gig, 80 gig, or 160 gig. These PS3s, I don't know if I'll ever get one. I don't see the point of having one. They're basically PS3s that, they're the fat PS3. They don't have chrome trim. They only have 2 USB ports. They have no memory card readers. And what's the worst thing about them? They can still die to the yellow light of death. And to throw insult to injury, they can't play PS2 games. So the ones in green, 3rd generation PS3s probably have the worst resale value because they can still die to the dreaded yellow light of death, and they can't play PS2 games at all. So it's like a double whammy. Like, no one wants those. You know what I mean? 2 USB ports, no memory card reader, can't play PS2, and it can still die to yellow. That's like the worst one to get. 3rd gen is the worst one to get, and that's the only one I don't have. I should hunt down a PS3 dev kit. Do those even work though if you don't have them registered? I don't even know if they're usable. Someone showed that if you have a PS5 dev kit, you can't do anything with it if it's not registered with Sony's cloud server. Like, if it doesn't handshake to the server, it doesn't do anything. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna have one for a furniture piece just to have one, you know what I mean? Like, I would actually want to use one. I mean, what's gonna happen to this Japanese PS3? Eventually, it's probably gonna go in my living room, and it'll be used for, like, I don't know, like a Blu-ray player or something, or just to have some kind of media thing. I mean, I can still install, like, Netflix and all the streaming apps or whatever, YouTube on there. I'm pretty sure it can still run on that, even though it's a Japanese PS3. The funny thing about the Japanese PS3, you know how in Japan, they use the circle? The circle is like yes and the X is no. Whereas in the West, the X button is yes and the circle button is cancel. Just because of convention, I guess it has to do with maybe Nintendo. No, it wouldn't be Nintendo. I don't know, it's weird. Because Microsoft Xbox, the A button is yes and B button is no, or A is acknowledge and B is cancel. In Japan, the O button is yes, but yet they made the O button red instead of blue, so it's kind of weird. The Japanese PS3, it operates that way. Even if you change the console language to English, you still gotta press the O button for yes and X button for cancel. I mean, that's the only thing about it that's kind of annoying to adjust to compared to if you're coming from all the other consoles that I have that are all like English based, and I go to that thing and it's like I gotta remember, oh yeah, X is cancel. So, cause when I first booted it up, I forgot about that, and I was like, okay, why is the controller not doing anything? It's because I kept pressing the cancel button instead of the yes button, so. But now I have a Japanese PS3 that can play Japanese PS2 games. There's an open source SDK. Yeah, probably. The only problem, the jailbroken PS3s don't really do a whole lot, except there are some good things you can do with a jailbroken PS3. Like, for example, with a jailbroken PS3, you can monitor your CPU and GPU temperatures. That is actually a very good thing to have if you're using an old fat PS3 that can die from the yellow light of death. And you can also, with jailbroken, you can actually manually control the fan curve. So you can make the fan spin up more aggressively to prevent overheating or deterioration of the NVIDIA GPU. So there's things that help with the jailbroken PS3. You can also dump the Blu-ray disc onto the hard drive, so you don't need the disc to be inside the drive anymore. That is a very convenient. That's a very nice, convenient thing to have. The only problem is when you do that, you're just gonna run out of hard drive space. And the problem, because I looked into the jailbroken thing, I was considering doing that, but then I was like, well, I don't really use the PS3 that much anymore, and also, the maximum drive space is 1 terabyte. You cannot put a 2 terabyte in the PS3 because the file system, the way it's designed, it just doesn't handle, like something with the firmware, there's a limitation with the firmware. It can't handle above, like, I think 1.1 or 1.2 terabytes. It messes up and it can cause file corruption. So the maximum you can do realistically is a 1 terabyte SSD or a 1 terabyte hard drive. And if you have a jailbroken PS3 and you're gonna dump like all these Blu-rays onto the hard drive, that hard drive is gonna run out of space. Just saying. So, because I mean, like Final Fantasy 13 by itself, that's a dual layer, that's a 50 gigabyte Blu-ray. You know, so that's like one game. I think the total size is like 37 or 39 gigs. Because it has so many uncompressed audio data in there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really care too much about that, like the jailbroken stuff. The only thing that I find the most beneficial thing is, like I said, the ability to monitor the GPU temperature and the CPU temperature. That right there is a good reason to jailbreak a PS3, to help extend its lifespan, because you're not in the dark on how hot the chips are running. But even without that, though, you can still tell if the GPU is running real hot, because your fan will be really, really loud. Because I remember thinking back to before the time mine died, I would be playing like Tekken Tag 2 or Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2 or 13-2, and I remember, man, my PS3, the fan got loud. It got loud, and thinking back, I'm like, I'm so dumb. I should have vacuumed the console, or like used compressed air to push out any kind of dust or stuff like that, just to help maintain it. I didn't do any of that, and that thing, toward the end of its life, it got so loud. So there were clear warning signs ahead of time that something bad was going to happen at some point, and shame on me for not doing the due diligence. But remember, I didn't think Yell Light of Death was going to happen, because I didn't believe that it was a mathematical certainty, if you will. I thought it was one of those like, oh, well, that's gonna affect people who like don't maintain their console, you know, like people who put it inside an enclosed TV cabinet. Because I never had mine in a cabinet. My PS3 Fat always lived on my desk, right behind one of my computer monitors. Like literally right where I have my PS5 now is where my PS3 used to be. It would be right behind where the computer monitors. It was mounted vertical. I always mount my PlayStation 3 and PS4 and now 5 vertical. I never lay them horizontal. I always lay them vertical or mount them vertical. So that PS3, it was vertical from day one, and it lasted I had it for like 5 years, or just over 5 years. I think it was like 5 years and like 2 or 3 months, and then it just died while playing a game. But the previous owner had it for like 2 years before I had it. So owner number 1 had 2 years. Owner number 2, that's 5 years. That's 7 years. So even though it died, it lived over 7 years. So I can't really say that. I mean, I feel like I handled it well. I did not like neglect it, but I feel like toward the end of its lifespan, I should have done more to help maintain it. Why didn't I send it to Sony? Well, there was no warranty. I mean, can you send one that's way out? Mine died in 2014. Was Sony still accepting launch models in 2014? That was like 7.5 years after the launch. When you think about it, would Sony have accepted that in 20? I don't know. I mean, I thought about that now, recently, but I didn't think of that as an option back then. And I figured it's because, well, I'll tell you the reason why, now that I think about it. Why back then, first of all, I bought it used from somebody on eBay, and I had it for 5 years. So I was never the original owner, so I never registered it with Sony. I don't have the original invoice to show proof of purchase. So all those things, I don't have any of that stuff. I have none of that documentation. So I don't know if that was even an option for me, because I bought it off of eBay used. You know what I mean? If it was my Metal Gear Solid PS5 that I personally bought from Best Buy brand new, yeah, absolutely I would have looked into that option. Because I had proof of purchase, I have the receipt, I have all that stuff. But because it was a used one off of eBay, I don't know if I would have been able to do that. I mean, the only thing I have is the serial number. So I don't know if that was even an option. Yeah, and it would have been expensive too. Yeah, even if they would, it would have been expensive. It was definitely out of warranty. The warranty was typically 1 year, and then I heard that if it broke outside of warranty, and you could show proof of purchase, Sony would offer to fix it for like $200 or something, somewhere around there. It was like 180 plus shipping or whatever, something like that. Someone was telling me about that a while ago, like a couple years back. But yeah. But I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. I feel like I should have tried more avenues to resurrect that thing. I would fix it myself if I had the tools. If I had a like a industrial heat gun workstation, I would actually desolder the dead RSX. But the thing is, I would have to do things. I'd have to solder wires onto the Syscon. I'd have to get the debug logs. I'd have to look and see if it actually died. If we're actually dealing with a dead NVIDIA GPU, or are we actually dealing with some kind of dead capacitor? Because I think 10% of the time it's actually a capacitor that causes you a lot of death, but 80 to 90% of the time it's actually an NVIDIA GPU that's broken, and that's very, very annoying to fix because you have to literally heat up the board to like 300 degrees Celsius or some ridiculous number because NVIDIA stupidly chose high lead solder. And high lead solder is very, very hard to... Or no, not high lead. It's high lead solder inside the chip, but they went with lead-free solder under the chip. Which means that to get it off the motherboard, you have to heat it up to like 250, 300 Celsius just to melt the what is it, zinc tin, whatever, the non-lead solder. Non-lead solder has a higher melting point than lead, so it's harder to get off of the BGA socket. Yeah, BGA rework, exactly. I don't have one of those. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man. Like, it's better to just buy another one off of eBay and hope for the best. I mean, the Japanese one that I have is very good. It's in perfect shape. It works fine. It can read all types of discs. It's just I can't play American PS2 games with it. So it's like, well, it's kind of useless now because of that. But I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it because it's a great piece of technology to hold on to.
So I had to settle for taking a shower. You know what that means. Got me some lost sauna time to catch up on.
First thing in the morning? Never change, Van. Never change.
I mean, I have quite a number of PS3s now. It's funny, one of the biggest PlayStation YouTubers on YouTube, Mystic, so the Mystic YouTube channel, that guy, the other day, that guy was saying how he has like 9 PS3s, and I was thinking, oh snap, I have 9 PS3s also. It's like, wait a minute, that guy and me have the same number of PS3s? Like, that's ridiculous. We're both sitting on 9 PS3s. Now, one of mine is dead, so technically I have 8 working ones and 1 dead one. Okay. But it's funny because it's like, so we count the dead one, so I have 8 PS3s. I have a Slim and a Super Slim, so I have 6 PS3s that can play PS2 games. But one of them can only play Japanese ones. So I have 5 PS3s that are backwards compatible. Oh, and of those 5, one of them is an 80 gig partial backwards compatible. So I have 4. I have 4 PS3s that have full PS2 backwards compatibility. I have a 20 gig. I have a 60 gig, which is the one that we were streaming on yesterday. I have another 60 gig, and I have my GameStop refurb 60 gig. So I've got 3 60 gigs and 1 20 gig that can all play PS2. So I'm good, man. It's like, I don't need any more. I don't need to revive my dead one. It would be nice someday to fix it, but I mean, I got redundancy. I'm just saying I got redundancy. So it's like I'm pretty good for a while. You know, like it took me over 5 years to kill a PS3 due to overuse.
Why don't we say hello and give them a warm old
And that was the second-hand purchase. So with 4 more, I think I'm good.
Wrong way.
But all this PS3 stuff has made me realize PS3 is my favorite console. And it'll probably remain my favorite console for a long time. I mean, I certainly have the most of PS3s than any other console. I've got like 1 of everything else, and then all of a sudden there's like 9 PS3. How did this tangent about PS3 start? I think Francisco asked something about it, right? I think Francisco asked about it. Or someone mentioned it. You're talking about this stream or like the whole retro thing? This whole thing stemmed from like retro streaming or retro gaming.
What will you do next?
What am I supposed to do?
Do you have a moment?
I've spent so much time getting that PS3 up and running though. That 60 gig. At first I wanted to get that 20 gig in place, but I'm like, oh no, I only have one 20 gig. The Japanese one kind of doesn't count. So I was like, I only got one 20 gig. And I've got a bunch of these 60s. I might as well just use one of the 60s. You're playing this game all of a sudden you're talking about PS3? It has to do with something Francisco said. He was saying something about... Oh, because he was asking about Threadripper, and I started talking about how I have the 2 consoles connected to it. And then it just kind of rolled over into a whole discussion about PS3. That's how it started. It started with a comment made about Threadripper. He was like, "Oh, you're in that room. That means you're on Threadripper." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I connected my PS3 and my PS5 to Threadripper now." That's how it started. Wait, what am I supposed to do?
Got a question for you.
I got a question for her. Hmm? The public bathhouse is unbelievably filthy. The rooms have not been properly sanitized. Oh.
Right.
If I may trouble you a moment.
I wonder how long I'm gonna keep that PS3 right there on the desk though. It's blocking the path to the Threadripper. And then I've got my dead one on the floor here. It's just sitting on the floor, blocking the airflow to my computer. It's in front of my computer, the intake vents. It's blocking the intake vents. It's like it's getting its revenge on my computer hardware. Because it died to overheating. It's gonna overheat my Threadripper by blocking the intake fans. It's just sitting there, man, blocking the airflow. Maybe I should move it because the GPU is cranking up pretty loud playing this game. Okay, so something about citrus smell.
Do you have a moment?
The culprit must be one of those disruptive bathgoers. Okay.
Got a question for you.
They got a lot of nerve calling it unsanitary. I'll say one more thing about PS3, because since we've been on this tangent, I don't know if you ever saw the two meme videos. There's two meme videos on the internet about PS3. The first one is the Chad Warden video. Have you seen the Chad Warden video? The Chad Warden video, that one, and then the other one. The main one, though, not that. The Chad Warden one is kind of whatever, man. He's just trolling. That guy is like the first internet troll. But the real one that got me into collecting PS3s was that one video called I Have 3 PS3s. I don't know if you ever saw that video. There's this guy in this room, and he has 3 PS3s, and they're all 60 gigabyte launch PS3s. That means all 3 of them can play PS2 games. I think because the video was made in 2007 or something, and he just it's like a theatrical monologue about how he has 3 PS3s. And that video, back in the day, I saw that, I'm like, oh man, I gotta have 3 PS3s too. So I ended up with 3 PS3s. By like 2009, I already had 3 PS3s. I had my 80 gig Metal Gear Solid bundle. I had my eBay one that's now dead. And I had a GameStop refurb one, which is still alive. I didn't even know there was a video called I Have 23 PS3s. No, that guy did make a video, I Have 4 PS4s. And he did also make a I Have 5 PS5s. But the I Have 3 PS3s was probably his most famous video. There are people who offer the service you need. They'll mail you a box, you send your dead PS3 to them. They'll replace the dead RSX with a 40 nanometer. Replace capacitors, fan holes, wait. Wait, really? Are those real legit services though? Are those like real services, or those aren't like scams or anything? Are you sure? So you're 100% certain that's a real deal? Cause I got my dead PS3 literally right here on the floor. You want to see the dead one? Man, this one, I tried to fix it years ago, and I lost the torque screw down here. So you know what? This PS3 can do this. I can take the front off. I can take the front off of this PS3. The Spider-Man font right there. PS3. And then I have it right here where it's like you can see underneath, because it's like I lost this. I lost the security screw on the bottom, so I can't keep the thing like closed all the time. I mean, it can still hold in place, but here it is. Here's my dead PS3, complete with the memory card thing up here. You know, it's been dead for like 12 years. So you're telling me that I could send this in to somebody and pay them to fix it, and they would turn into a Frankenstein? So I could turn my dead PS3 into a Frankie, basically. Dude, I might have to look into that. That sounds very interesting.
If I may trouble you a moment.
Cause I don't have the equipment to do that myself. Because I was thinking I would just keep it around as spare parts for my other ones that work, but it would be nice to have it up and running and not just be dead. Yeah, I might have to look into that. So you're saying that people on eBay offer this service? Sony used the same technique on ARM-8 units. That's where these third-party repair services learned it from to begin with. So these third-party people used to work for Sony's service center? They're basically ex-employees of that place? So they actually have the official procedure on how to do that then.
Got something to ask you.
Because
So... Got something to ask you.
there are very specific things that need to be done for that to work. You know? Like what you're talking about, putting a 40 nanometer RSX. There, first of all, that is the PS3 that has that service done becomes the best PS3. Like that, they're known as the Frankies. We've talked about this in one of the previous live streams. A Frankenstein PS3, man. That is the end game. That is the transcended PlayStation 3. It is the best PS3. I might make a video about it. I don't know. That whole topic in itself is like one of the secret things about the console industry, because the Frankenstein PS3, what people don't know is that the Frankenstein PS3 is the most capable PS3, and it is, which means, okay, it means it can play PS2 games. It has 4 USB ports. It has Wi-Fi, unless you have a 20 gig Frankenstein. It has memory card readers that no other PS3 has. And it has 40 nanometer RSX, which means it uses half of the electricity compared to the 90 nanometer RSX. Oh man, we're going on another tangent. I can sense it. We're going into another tangent. We're going into another tangent. We need paint. We need paint. We need paint. Oh man, we need paint. Hold on. Hold up, turn this music down. Okay. PS3 CECH A01 and CECH B01, and I guess to a slightly lesser extent CECH E01. If we're talking North America region, these are the 3 that can play PS2 games. These are the 2 that have the full backwards compatibility, which means these 2 are the most in demand and have the best resale value. This one is not too bad. This one is known as the 80 gigabyte MGS4 bundle, or the 80 gigabyte Motor Storm bundle. These have about 75% backwards compatibility. I have an 80 gigabyte MGS4 bundle, so I have one of those. It's in its original packaging, locked away in storage where it's safe for eternity. So I don't need to worry about this thing dying. But these are the ones that I'm concerned about. My dead one is an A01. So you're saying I could have somebody fix it for me. It's very, very interesting to think about that. So, but here's the thing, guys. Power consumption. Power consumption. A stock 90 nanometer RSX equals 80 watts. 80 watts while gaming. 40 nanometer RSX equals like 40 watts of gaming, or it's more like 35 watts of gaming. So we're cutting down the power consumption significantly down. Significantly down. So a Frankie is pulling 35 watts. You got this big old fat chassis with this thick heatsink and this giant 19 blade fan cooling essentially a laptop GPU. Or no, an integrated graphics. The old fat 90 nanometer, that's like having an RTX 5080 laptop GPU in terms of how much power and heat and noise that it generates. Now you drop down to a 40 nanometer RSX. All of a sudden, you've gone from discrete graphics levels of power consumption on a laptop to integrated graphics levels of power consumption. So what does that mean? That implies Frankie is silent while gaming and no longer heats up the room, because I remember my 90 nanometer heats up my room. My 90 nanometer A01 stock power consumption on 90 nanometer cell plus RSX equals up to 220 watts of electricity being pumped out. I'll probably do a video about this. I will show you guys the power consumption while gaming on PS2. So here are the numbers. PS1 game equals 180 watts. PS2 game equals 220 watts. PS3 game equals around 200 watts. So you can see PS2 game uses the most electricity on a backwards compatible PS3. Why? Because you have to power the emotion engine and the graphics synthesizer in addition to the RSX and the cell. So a PS2 game is actually the most energy consumption compared to a PS3. However, when you're playing a PS2 game, the RSX doesn't heat up as much as when you're playing a PS3 game. So a PS2 game is not really going to harm the RSX, the 90 nanometer RSX, as frequently as a PS3 game will. And a lot of people don't realize that. So if you want to ensure yellow light of death, play a bunch of PS3 games every day on your PS3 with a 90 nanometer, and eventually you'll get yellow light of death. But if you're playing a bunch of PS2 games, you're just retro gaming, you know, like Onimusha, Dawn of Dreams, DMC3, Tekken Tag Tournament, whatever, old games, you're probably not going to kill your RSX, or it'll take a very long time to kill the RSX. We're talking like years, because even though it's the highest power consumption, it's not stressing out the RSX as much as the PS3 game does. So, but if we look at this, so this is about, it's like, okay, 200 watts equals, it's roughly, it's like 120 watts cell plus 80 watts RSX. It's something around that neighborhood. It's really more like, let's say 190. So drop this to like 110. So realistically, this is the power. But now I'm trying to calculate a Frankie's power consumption. A Frankie's power consumption would be, the cell doesn't change. So you're still at 110 watts on cell, but now you're at like 35 watts on RSX. So what is that? That's 145. 145 watts. Frankie. Dude, this is... Man. Look at the drop in power consumption. OG PS3. Like, man, this is a very interesting topic. This is a very interesting topic. Because you're cutting the power a lot. You're cutting the power a lot. Dude. That's interesting. Now I need to know one thing. I need to know how much power does a cell use when it's node shrunk. Not that this matters, but... PlayStation 3... They don't have it in the database. We can assume, though, a 45 nanometer cell is gonna be like half of this. So a slim, we'll just say 65 watt cell plus 35 watt RSX. So what is that? 90, that's 100 watts. PS3 Slim. So a PS3 Slim is still going to use less power than a Frankie because cell has a node shrink. The 45 nanometer cell plus the 40 nanometer RSX, that PS3 Slim is going to average around 100 watts while gaming. So this is the reason why the Slim is so much quieter and doesn't need a beefy cooling system like the original fat PS3. So yeah, man, that is endgame. Getting a 40 nanometer RSX on that OG, that's nice. That is the best PS3. That is the best PS3, hands down. Because I recommend people buy the Slim. I've been recommending people buy the Slim for years now, unless they really truly care about PS2 backwards compatibility. Because the Slim is extremely reliable. The cell is a tank. Even the old OG 90 nanometer cell is a tank. These things rarely ever die, so you don't have to worry about the cell. The RSX, on the other hand, the 40 nanometer, that one is a tank and it doesn't use that much electricity, so it's going to have a long life. So, PS3 Slims, man, if you don't care about PS2 games, or if you don't have a PS2 collection of games, PS3 Slim, it's the best one. The Super Slim is even lower power, though. Super Slim is like 65 watt cell plus, it's like, well, it's not that much less. It's like 28 watt RSX. Because they did drop it to a, well, this is more like, I can find out what the exact number is. PlayStation 3. The 28 nanometer RSX, 21 watts. 21 watts on the RSX, 28 nanometer. So what is that? 80, 86? Super Slim. The Super Slim is pulling like 85 watts. So it's not that much more efficient compared to the Slim. This is why I tell people, get the Slim, because the build quality of the Slim is much better than the Super Slim. And you're not really, the power consumption is not that different between the two of them. And I believe some Super Slims have the 100 watt consumption because only the later Super Slims got the 28 nanometer RSX. So for those curious, how am I getting these numbers? This is 90 nanometer. This is 90 nanometer. This is 45 nanometer. This is 45 nanometer. And then here we have 90 nanometer, 40 nanometer, 40 nanometer, and 28 nanometer. So these are the power consumption numbers. So yeah, you can see, man, that Frankie thing is incredible. That is incredible. I gotta look into that for this dead PS3 of mine. That sounds like a pretty good thing. Do you have any idea how much that costs, though, roughly? Like that mail-in service to get a PS3 revived with a 40 nanometer? Where do they get the 40 nanometer chips, though? That's what I'm wondering. Are they harvesting them out of, like, good PS3s? Slims? Because where would they get 40 nanometer RSX from? It's not like you can just go and buy one from Sony. Yes, you're correct. There was no 60 nanometer. There was a 65 nanometer. I'm not showing that one, but you're right. There was a 65 nanometer. There was a 90 nanometer cell plus a 65 nanometer RSX, but it's questionable whether or not those 65 nanometers were reliable. So I ignore those most of the time. But yeah. But what's interesting is this Frankie combination, because you got a slim RSX and an OG cell. It's like this weird hybrid, which ultimately means that the cell will benefit from the 40 nanometer, because the 40 nanometer is only pulling like 35 watts. That means that, remember, that both of these components share the cooling system together. But if this guy is so much more energy efficient that he generates way less heat, that means the cell benefits because it can get better cooling performance, because it can basically use more of the cooling system, because the RSX doesn't need as much of the cooling system because it's so much more efficient. So that is actually, yeah, man, the Frankie just sounds so good. It's like a win-win. Like, wow, the cell will live longer because it gets better temperatures, because it's got that big cooling system on the OG. Wow, that's good. Just thinking about it, because remember, the PS3 Slim, the cooling system on a Slim is nowhere near as good as the cooling system on the OG, because it didn't have to be. Because these chips don't use that much electricity. So now you're putting this tiny little RSX on this giant this cooling system that's completely overbuilt for it, and now all of a sudden that benefits the cell. That sounds great. That sounds great. That is amazing, man. The Frankie is such a cool console. That is such a cool concept. The fact that Sony did that, though, because Microsoft never did that with a 360. Microsoft would just replace the board with another one that would die. It wasn't until Jasper that Microsoft finally fixed the Red Ring of Death, but man. No, I don't know if they can take them from dead PS3s. Taking them from dead PS3s is questionable. Because if the RSX is on a dead PS3, like, did that PS3 die to a power surge? It could have damaged the RSX. I don't think that's how they do it. I'd have to look into that more, but yeah, that sounds like an awesome thing. The Frankie PS3, man. Yeah, that's good. That's good. 35 watts versus 80 watts. And it doesn't have the bad underfill. I don't know if you saw the live stream recently. I've talked in depth about how the OLED of death occurs. We did a whole section. It was like an hour-long discussion on Tech Thursdays talking about the red ring of death and the OLED of death and what causes that to happen. It was an industry-wide problem with the packaging methods due to the materials that were selected from the design team. Specifically, it was the silicon, the refined sand that they used to support the solder joints inside the RSX on something called a flip chip. But yeah, we talked about this already. This is a great concept, though. Now you got me wanting to... Now you sparked my interest, man. I'm gonna have to look into this more. This mail-in service to get a dead PS3 revived. Because this old PS3 is still... It's worth saving because it's one of those that has full backwards compatibility. And the only thing... Thinking about it, this dead one that I've got here... I stupidly lost the rubber foot that hides the torque screw, and I lost the torque screw. So that's not there. I still have the hard drive. But everything about it is intact. It has all its stuff. So I don't know. I just know that it's Yell Light of Death. Well, we didn't really accomplish much in the game. This was a great tangent.
Let me ask you something.
The PS3 strikes again. Yeah, the service taking that fix is incredible though, because I mean I knew that it's possible. Well, I know that it's possible, but I didn't know there were people still offering the service because it's so old. The console's so old, you know. And the problem is, as time goes by,
If I may trouble you a moment.
as time goes by, the people that offer that service, they'll be less inclined to do that. Because the parts will be harder to find, you know, like 40 nanometer RSXs, that kind of thing.
Let me ask you something.
Seems like everyone's saying that this, what am I supposed to do? It seems like...
Let me ask you something.
Sounds like it's a nuisance thing, what these guys are saying.
If I may trouble you a moment.
Seems like everyone's saying that the posting about that place, the bathhouse being unsanitary is fake news.
Do you have a moment?
I do feel though that if you are using a PS3 with a 90 nanometer RSX and you have the console operating in a good environment, meaning the ambient temperature is anywhere from like 68 degrees Fahrenheit, so whatever that is in Celsius. Let me see what that is in Celsius for the rest of the world. 68 F to C, so that's 20 degrees Celsius, so which is kind of cool. If let's do 70. Okay, so 21 degrees. So basically, or what's 72? 22. Okay, so for Celsius, for those of you that use Celsius, if you're operating an old fat PS3 in an environment where the ambient temperature is anywhere from 20 degrees to 22 degrees C, so that's roughly 68 degrees Fahrenheit to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, I personally think that you don't have to worry too much about Yellow Light of Death. Like I said earlier, I operated mine for over 5 years, not even bothering to maintain good ambient temperatures, and mine's despite all of that, and mine was purchased secondhand off of eBay, and despite all of that, and I played a ton of PS3 games, hours on end, and despite everything, that console still lived. I had it over 5 years. Total lifespan exceeded 7 years. So, yes, it did Yellow Light of Death, but it took it over 7 years to get there. I just want to point that out because a lot of people are like, oh, preventative maintenance and all this stuff. Yeah, but at the same time, I think if you're operating it in a good environment, it's well ventilated, it's not in a stupid cabinet where it's choking and starving for air, because I never had mine in that environment. I always had mine on a desk, mounted vertically. And the other reason why I recommend mounting it vertically versus horizontally is because of thermal dynamics. Because the way the motherboard is designed, and this is kind of a dumb, I don't know if this is good or bad on Sony's part, but if you guys know, the PlayStation is like this. If you have the PS Triple horizontal on a table or in a cabinet, the motherboard is like this. The console's body is kind of like curved. You know how it's got like the tray and stuff? So I'm just going to draw like the console roughly. It's kind of like this. This rectangle in the middle is the motherboard. The CPU, the cell, now I gotta think about this. Hold on, let me look at mine real quick. RSX is here. RSX is here. And cell... I take that back. RSX is here. And cell is here. The reason why horizontal will kill the console faster than vertical is because of thermodynamics. Because, look at this. When you mount the PS3 horizontal, like it's laying like this, here's the rubber feet. Here's the rubber foot. The heatsink assembly, we're going to draw that in gray. The heatsink assembly is here. Well, we need to use a different color to illustrate. Let's use orange. The heatsink is here, touching the chips. The fan is also down here. The fan, I'm going to draw it in blue. The fan is here. That's the fan. So, and then, okay. Because up top, you've got the power supply. The power supply is here. And the Blu-ray drive is right next to it. It's up here. This is the Blu-ray drive. I know this because I've opened up PlayStation 3s many times. I have never opened up a Slim or a Super Slim. I've only opened up the fat OG backwards compatible ones. So the chip, the RSX, and the cell, here is RSX, and here is cell. The reason why the horizontal position will kill the console faster than vertical is because heat rises. Heat naturally goes this way. It rises. The failure of this I don't know if it's a failure, but the weird design choice has the heatsink underneath the chips when the console is laying horizontal. Orange is the heatsink. Blue, light blue is the fan. This is the fan. This is the heatsink. So you have your heatsink underneath your chips. It's trying to pull the heat like down away from the chips and then out of the console. Because the chips are literally upside down, and you have gravity pushing down on them when the console is laying horizontally. You have a downward gravity force. You have heat trying to go up, naturally up, but you have the air and the heatsink pulling the heat this way. So you have a weird, like, there's this weird dynamic of the heat being wicked away, even though naturally the heat wants to rise and sink into the ground plane. Maybe Sony did this because they wanted to use the motherboard and the ground plane as another way to pull heat away from the chips, which is totally fine. So maybe that's the reason why they did this. But the problem with this design is that when you have the console laying flat vertical, or not vertical, when you have it laying horizontally, laterally, the chips are literally dangling from the motherboard. They're hanging down. Now, obviously, they're being pushed up by the heatsink, so it's clamped. So it shouldn't be a problem. But the underfill is like this. The glue is literally hanging. It's hanging. So there is a constant downward gravitational force pushing the underfill and the chips away from the motherboard toward the heatsink. So you've got this. To me, it doesn't make any sense to have it this way. Personally, it should be the other way. And when I think about things, I think the PS5 is the other way. The PS5 has this whole thing literally, like, how do I rotate this? I don't even know if I can rotate this. Oh yeah, here we go. Rotate it like 180 degrees. The PS5 is like this. So Sony fixed this with PS5, and they probably, I don't know if they fixed it with PS4. I think PS4 is like PS3. But I think PS5, they flipped it. So if you have a PS5 laying horizontally, the chip's thermodynamics, everything rises up, and gravity pushes the chip down on the motherboard, supporting it better. That is a better design. The PS3, for some reason, the gravity is pulling the chips away from the motherboard, and the heat is trying to pull the heat. The heatsink is pulling the heat down away, like down with gravity, instead of up like it naturally flows. So it goes against the laws of thermodynamics. I don't understand why the engineers designed it this way. Maybe it was for practical reasons, space-constrained reasons. I don't really know why they did it this way. But because of this, I believe that the optimal way to handle a PS3 is to have it vertical. So we're going to do left, like this. This is a vertical mounted PS3. You have the Blu-ray drive right here. You have the power supply at the bottom. You have the fan here. You have the chips in the middle. And the heat will naturally rise this way, naturally, when cooling without active cooling. And with active cooling, it will still make him go this way and this way. Out the back, or I guess out the back, we should say, and out the top. So that is how I have always maintained my PS3. I've always had it vertical for that reason. And maybe that's the reason why mine lived as long as it did, despite me using it hardcore. Never bothered to clean the thermal paste, never bothered. In fact, I'll tell you guys a really bad story. And this is the thing that I kind of like, man, I hate myself for doing this. But I disassembled my PS3. I took it apart all the way down until I could see the chips. But you know what I did? After I looked at the chips, I didn't clean the thermal paste off the chips. I looked at the console, and then I put it all back together. Meaning, I didn't change the thermal paste, even after removing the heatsink from the chips. So like I literally pulled the heatsink off of the RSX and the cell, looked at them, looked at the white thermal paste that was on there from the factory, and then I just put it back together. Meaning, I didn't remove the old thermal paste, or clean it, or change it. All I did was put the old thermal paste back on the console as it was, even after disassembly, which is not a good thing to do. And then I put it back together, and then I continued to use it for years and years. And it worked. It lived 5 years. Because I took it apart, and I had it for like 5 years after taking it apart and never changing thermal paste. You see what I'm saying? So these things are not as unreliable as people might say. So just... because... And sometimes I kind of beat myself up for doing that, like thinking that, oh, I'm so dumb. I took apart my PS3 and I didn't change the thermal paste. I literally just took the heatsink off. Oh, there's the cell. There's the RSX. Okay, put it back together. Just clamp back down the old thermal paste that was all dried up. Just put it back on there. Start using it again. And it worked. It lasted 5.5 years. And... factory thermal paste whole time, and it eventually gave out. But yeah, maybe if I would have not done that, or if I would have changed it when I did that, the thermal paste that is, maybe it would not have died, but who knows. Is there any plugin that can add subtitles to live streaming content? That's a good question. I don't know about live stream, but there might be one for post live. Like after it's not live anymore, but I don't know. That's a great question. I need to look into that. Let me see. Closed captions plugin for live transcription to third-party services. Yeah, there may be some browser extensions that offer AI translation. YouTube does have an auto captions though, but I think that might not be for live. Actually, it says that they do have it. Let me see. Can I add that? Closed captions. I think I can. I might be able to add it, but I can't add it to this live stream. I'll have to... Okay, let me note that down. I'll take a note of that, because I might be able to add it. Google Translate for extension. Well, he's talking about, can he get live subtitles on the YouTube stream while I'm live? I might be able to add that, but I can't do it to an existing live stream. So I might be able to do that next time. But yeah, so my recommendation, just to close the loop on this PS3 discussion, if you have an old fat PS3, I recommend positioning it vertical, like this, for the best airflow. That way, it doesn't die as fast due to like the negative effects of gravity and the incorrect way the thermodynamics is forced to flow against gravity. Or it's, well, not against gravity. It just behaves strange. But I guess technically the horizontal configuration, it should be okay, because but now you're relying on the motherboard to sink more of the heat. And it might not do it as efficiently versus if, whoops, if it was, oh, I rotated the whole thing. It might not do it as efficiently compared to if this was just standing vertical. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing is to just put the PS3 vertical. Average temperature For use 33 degrees Celsius, so rip all. Yeah, that's not good. 33, man. 33 C. Ooh, that's hot. Wow. Inside 91 Fahrenheit is 33 Celsius. Yeah, that's not good. That's definitely not a good. That is definitely not a good ambient temperature for a fat PS3. What was your last comment? Was you assume the GPUs are taken from dead PS3s? Oh, if you were trying to link something, I think YouTube blocks links. If you were sending a hyperlink, I think YouTube blocks the hyperlinks. If you're trying to send something. Because the last comment I saw was, I assume the GPUs are taken from dead PS3s, but I don't know for sure. I might make a video about this, guys. Well, so your last comment was you assume the GPUs are taken from dead PS3s. I don't think they're taken from dead PS3s. They might be. They might. But I think they're either taken from good ones or they're taken. Somehow there's a way to get the excess component stock from Sony from somewhere, whether it's from buying them on Alibaba or AliExpress or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's probably a way to get 40 nanometer chips. That Frankie service thing, though, that sounds like a really good idea. I just need to find out how much that costs. If it costs too much money, I mean, currently I have enough PS3s to weather any sort of storm on PS3s, but it would be nice to have that dead one up and running again. I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing in this game. We're supposed to be doing something with the quest?
Got a question for you.
Ill-mannered customers?
Excuse me?
The PS3 discussion is more interesting than the game. Not gonna Man, poor Trails Beyond the Horizon. Wow. Roasted.
Got a question for you.
Bond's getting roasted by the PS3 topic. Why does he need four? Like, why are there 4 people doing this? Like, why do we need to... He gotta bring the whole army just to, like, figure out ill-mannered customers.
Excuse me?
I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, I guess. Just talk to these people.
Pardon me.
Customers. The culprit might actually be one of us regulars. It's definitely a possibility. Oh, culprit is a regular obtained. A green-haired man who gave off the scent of citrus. Oh. The green-haired regular? One of the ill-mannered bathgoers? Someone else? Oh, wait, who spread the misinformation? Someone else? Oh no, it's one of the ill-mannered. The green hair. Why is it the green hair regular? That people are complaining about the green hair regular. No, what he's talking about, he's trying to get subtitles for the live stream, like live caption of the live stream in his native language. What is the native language?
Pardon me.
The green-haired regular, where?
We just gotta check out that rocket launch.
Well, where would this guy be, though?
Got something to ask you.
Would you care for some flowers?
Oh. It will open captions for you, just the language is the issue? Oh. YouTube, there is a box with three or four horizontal lines with a music note in the top. The PS3 topic is more interesting than the game. Man, see why the PS3 is like the best console generation ever? It is by far the best console generation ever. And I bet the Lightning Returns gameplay was better than this too. And that was a PS3 game.
It's gonna be another scorch.
So supposedly there's supposed to be some green-haired.
Do you have a moment?
Green-haired culprit. I guess we just need to go talk to the people again.
So much hustle and bustle in the world these days.
We just gotta check out that rocket launch.
Give me your thoughts.
Oh, is it this guy? Yeah, it's this guy. This guy has... That's green hair, apparently. What exactly did this guy even do? Oh, he was just acting rowdy in the bathhouse? Okay, here's you have to make a choice. What should be his punishment? Perform cleaning duty, hand out flyers, or banned from the premises. Hand out flyers for the PS3. You hand out flyers for the stations advertising the PS3. Okay, that's a great idea. How do you feel about that? Of course, I'd be happy to hand out PS3 flyers. This game, man.
Well done, everyone.
Mira deposit confirmed.
Apparently that one was mostly gray. Alignment. I feel like the most common problem for PS3s, though, that are old, isn't so much the yellow light of death, it's actually the Blu-ray drive. The Blu-ray drive, as it ages, it loses the ability to play DVDs, so you have to change the laser.
Just gotta check out that rocket launch.
Looks like he only has one more 40nm stock right now, so... Oh, you're saying somebody on eBay? Hold on, let me bring up this real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Are you talking about PS3 40nm RSX Frankenstein mail-in service, $550, located in the United States, last one? Is that what you're talking about? I can see it on eBay right now. $550, $16.80 shipping. Okay, yeah, I see it. Hold on. Yeah, so this. Okay. You're talking about this. See, okay, check this out. Yeah, that right there is a 90nm. That's the 90nm. I recognize 90nm when I see that's a 40nm. Those are the token replacements. Yeah, these are the token replacements. So wait, this guy's gonna replace, not only is he gonna replace the RSX, he's going to also replace the capacitors, the old the NEC token. He delids the cell also. Sometimes I wonder if that's even necessary to delid the cell. Because the cell is basically a tank. The thing is, you gotta do so many things to this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do so much stuff to this. You gotta... Like, there's more than just changing the chip. You have to make voltage modifications. You gotta remove some resistors. You gotta bridge some new resistors. You have to go into the syscon and you have to program it. You have to use a voltage divider. This picture right here is showing that he also will change these resistors so that the voltage to the RSX is lower than it was stock, because though you can run 1.2 volts, so the stock voltage to the 90nm RSX is 1.2, it's roughly about 1.2 volts. But the 40nm doesn't need that much voltage. It can handle 1.2 volts, but the longevity of the chip will be in question because it's smaller, it doesn't need that much voltage. So what they do is they basically change the voltage divider circuit. So, and that's what this picture's showing right here. You can see where he's put flux and then he changes the resistors. Essentially, you drop the voltage from 1.2 volts to the RSX to like 0.9 something. I forgot the exact value. But it does require a voltage modification so that the chip will live as long as it would as if it was in a slim PS3. Yes, it needs the voltage adjustment. Okay, that is a 40 nanometer. You can see right there. Oh, it looks like he also changes the battery. One of the things that also dies just due to time naturally is the RTC battery. The RTC, the real-time clock battery, is there to maintain the time on the console when it's unplugged from the wall. So that way, if you store it in storage or whatever, and you take it out of storage, you power it on, it still remembers what day or what time it is. These batteries die just naturally. They're literally just, they're literally just these type of coin batteries. Like the ones that go in a watch. So, this yellow one indicates that he changed it, because the stock one, because I myself have changed these out. I've got a stock one right here. The original one is green, and it says Sony on it. But the new ones that you find on Amazon are yellow. So that indicates, and they have that really long cable, because the stock one has a very short cable. I recently did this to my 60 gigabyte PS3. I changed the battery. Since we've been spending all this time on retro consoles, I figured I'm gonna fix the batteries in them because the batteries are dead. And every time I turn the console on, it thinks it's midnight 2000, like it thinks it's like November 1st, 2006. It doesn't remember what time it is. And the problem is, if you have digital PlayStation Network games, if the battery dies, you can't play your digital games on the PS3 until you connect it to the internet and re-authenticate, or change the battery. So, I can do some things, but I can't do a chip swap because I don't have the equipment to heat up the chip hot enough to remove it. So I know what needs to be done, but the question is it worth the time and effort to get all the equipment? Probably not. It's probably more cost effective to pay somebody that can do this professionally. So, interesting. Am I not going to upgrade my analog sticks to TMR? Wait, he does all the things in the... Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, this does seem like... Oh yeah, here it is. Whoops, why did it go away? Put it back. It says right here. Offering mail-in service for 40 nanometer RSX. He's only doing this for the 3 that I mentioned. So the 60 gigabyte, the 20 gigabyte, or the 80 gigabyte that has partial backwards compatibility. Actually, let's zoom in here. Okay, so 60 gig, 20 gig, 80 gig. Service includes 40 nanometer and power adjustment, new token replacement, RIP flex boards, both sides. Oh, there's 8 total. There's 4 on one side, 4 on the other. New CMOS. Okay, I told you I could tell he changes the battery. Cell RSX D-lid, removing the IHS, applying new thermal paste, MX4. 3-day testing thermal cycling. If purchased an empty box, you must use packing materials in your system to me. Once received. Okay. Okay. If you want to save on shipping, you can disassemble your system and send only the motherboard. But it must be inside the metal housing, and the fan must stay attached. If you have any questions. Yeah, it is better to send the whole thing. Because of the way shipping is typically rough. I would not send just the motherboard with the heatsink. That, to me, is a recipe for disaster, knowing how FedEx and UPS are sometimes. So, yeah, just send the whole thing. That's really cool, man, that people are offering this service. That is definitely worth considering. But people should only consider this if they're like me and they have a dead PS3. If you have a working 60 gigabyte or any of these old PS3s, and if it still works, you don't need to do this because there is always a slim chance that your console just continue to live. You know, until it dies, there's no reason to really do anything. But that is very good to know there's people that offer that service. Are you not going to upgrade your analog stick? I don't know. I mean, I gotta look into that. But that's pretty good that people do that. I am actually very happy to know that there's people out there that offer that service to convert a dead or help fix a dead console. I wonder if people fix like 360s. Anyway, I gotta take a quick break, but I will be back. But I don't know. The stream is almost at 3 hours, so we're almost at the end of the stream. But I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Well.
Okay. Yeah, when I think about how there's not that many of these consoles globally. You know what I mean? Like literally, if you look at the timetable for all of the PS3s, only the ones that fall into this first generation. We said this earlier in the live stream, but I feel like most of the viewers weren't here when we first brought this up. But only consoles that were manufactured from November of 2006 to, what is this? January, February, March, April, May, June, until like early July of 2007. So November 2006 through June of 2007. That was the small window that Sony manufactured 60 gigabyte PS3s for the NTSC region. For the Japan region, it was much, much longer. So there are way more Japanese backwards compatible PS3s than there are US region, or I guess region, what is it, region 1? Yeah, A01 is the US PS3. I guess Canada also. But the A00 is the Japanese one. But the Japanese one was built from November 2006 all the way until early January of 2008. Or maybe it was just through December of 2007. So the Japanese PS3 that can play PS2 games, now granted only Japanese PS2 games, that one was basically 14 months. 14-month window for manufacturing. And they did the exact same thing for the 20 gigabyte Japanese PlayStation 3. The 20 gigabyte American PS3 or the NTSC PS3 Region 1. That one only was manufactured for literally 5 months. 5 months. That means a 20 gigabyte backwards compatible Region 1 PS3, like one that can play US Region PS2 games. That thing is like a unicorn, because not only is that susceptible to the yellow light of death, it was the smallest manufacture window. It was this tiny, can I zoom in more? Come on, where's that picture? Look at that. Look at that. November, December, January, February, March. That is literally a 5-month window. That's less than half a year where they manufacture 20 gigabyte PS3. The 20 gigabyte PS3 is one of the rarest PS3s on the planet, and it is capable of playing PS2 games. Japan only got all the way through the year. So Japan, man, home country gets the best. They got the longest run, which means there's a ton of Japanese backwards compatible PS3s in circulation. Most of them are in Japan. I personally have one literally right here on the desk next to me, and it is a 20 gigabyte Japan PS3. But these things are super rare. So the US one, a B01, if you can get a B01, man, that's like the rarest PS3 in the world. Almost more impressive than having a 60 gigabyte. Now, most people don't care about the 20 gig because it doesn't have Wi-Fi. It doesn't have the memory card readers. Who cares about the memory card readers, though? Like, are you really going to use compact flash or an SD card in a PS3 in 2026? Like, who is going to actually use that? Just saying. So, and also, Wi-Fi, this is literally Wi-Fi 3. It's 802.11g or B. It's Wi-Fi 2 or Wi-Fi 3. It is like garbage Wi-Fi in the 60 gig PS3. So personally, if I'm looking for a PS3, don't count out the 20 gig. It's the unicorn. Yeah, it doesn't have Wi-Fi, but literally who cares? Because are you really going to use Wi-Fi with your PS3? I personally don't use Wi-Fi with any of my consoles, except the Switch 2. So, and if I dock my Switch 2, it's on LAN. So me, everything's on LAN. So PS3's on LAN. PS5's on LAN. So I don't do Wi-Fi on consoles. So if I'm in the market, if I can find a good deal on a 20 gigabyte PS3, I'm gonna snatch that up quick, because that thing, if it's in great working condition and excellent physical shape, that thing's really good to have. It's just as good as the 60 gig. The only thing it's lacking is the memory card readers and the chrome trim. So if you care about that chrome trim, then yeah, the 60 gig. But you compare this to like all these other consoles. I can't even scroll across, it won't even let me. So let's zoom out now. You look at the total lifespan of the PS3. There are so many Super Slims. Those Super Slims are worth a dime a dozen. Then you got the Slims. They're good. They're probably the best ones if you care about reliability and you don't care about PS2 backwards compatibility. But if you just want the best of the best, 60 gigabyte. Ideally Frankenstein, but 60 gigabyte, man. Complete opposite of Xbox. Because Xbox, the Slim Xbox is the best Xbox, and there is absolutely no reason to have an OG Xbox. There's like no reason. No reason at all. It has less features than the Slim, whereas the PlayStation, the old ones had the most features, the newest ones had the least features. Xbox, the old ones had the least features, the Slims had the most features. So Xbox and PlayStation are like the complete opposites of each other when it comes to the 7th generation of consoles. Okay, the question about my GameCube, yes, I did fix it. It's an optional fix, and it's not a long-term fix. I tweaked the potentiometer, down to 114 ohms, and then it can read discs again. But that is not a good thing to do long term. So I'm probably gonna have to figure out what capacitors to replace. But that's something for another time. Alright guys, well I think we're at the end of the live stream. Did I even solve anything here? All the dialogue went away. So, oh yeah, that guy said he'll go and post flyers for PlayStation 3. Do the rounds in the capital. Wow, this is a 3-hour live stream, and I literally accomplished one side quest. One side quest. These guys didn't even leave the starting area. This is pathetic. I don't know. Let's go over here.
Let's roll, gang.
Yeah. I fixed my GameCube. I need to do some testing on my other GameCube because I have another GameCube now. Just saying. Like, dude, this retro thing, I need to stop the retro. I need to stop the retro consoles. It's not good for me. I'm serious. It's really not good for me. You know why? Because when I went down this rabbit hole on retro consoles, I ended up buying a Nintendo Wii, a 360S, a GameCube, like another GameCube. Now I have two GameCubes. I have my one that I had to tweak to get it to read discs, and then I have a black one. So now I have the Platinum GameCube and the what do they call it? The Shadow Black one or the black one? Jet Black. I have a black GameCube that the previous owner must have been a smoker because there's like a cigarette burn that warped the plastic on the disc door, the disc cover or lid or whatever. So, I mean, I got that thing from GameStop. I bought it the same time I bought the Wii and the 360S. So now I've just got too many retro consoles, man. Way too much retro. Way too much. This is overdone. I've gone overboard on retro consoles. I need to stop. I really need to stop. And I have a feeling this game, nothing against Falcom, but I just don't think Trails Beyond the Horizon is the game that is gonna like pull me out of the retro thing. You know what I'm saying? I need a better game than this, a modern game to pull me away from retro gaming, because this is not good right now. Things are getting out of control. We got a GameCube, a Wii, a 360S, and like a handful of PS3s. Like, what the heck? Like, what? Before, like, literally last month, I had my dead PS3, and I had my refurb GameStop, my Metal Gear, and my Slim. I had 4 PS3s. I had 4 PS3s. One was dead, so I technically had 3 working PS3s. 2 of them could play PS2 games, and one of them was a Slim. Fast forward 1 month later,
well,
I went from having 4 PS3s technically to like 9 PS3s. Like, how the heck? Like, what the heck? How did I double the number of PS3s that I had? And then, like, what? How did this happen? And then now I have like double the number of GameCubes. There's a Wii. All of a sudden, there's a Wii. And there's a 360 now. Oh, and by the way, there's a Series X, but I always planned to get the Series X. The Series X was the only one that I planned to actually get. And then here we are, and now it's like I've pretty much doubled the number of consoles I have in literally the course of 2 weeks. I'm thinking this is out of control, man. And I'm missing the Dreamcast. Yeah, I know. And I'm missing the Dreamcast. And I'm not gonna get a Dreamcast. Don't try to talk me into getting a Dreamcast. As much as I'd like to have one, I don't even know where to start. I mean, that console collection video that you guys saw, if you guys watch my console collection video, that is actually not my whole collection. I didn't want to show the whole collection because the whole collection would probably raise questions like, why do you need that many PS3s? And why are there like 2 GameCubes? You know, and it's like, what the heck? Like, what happened here? There's like all this extra redundancy. There's like too much redundancy on PlayStation 3, and now there's GameCube redundancy. Just because I didn't trust my GameCube. My alleged GameCube. Which actually belongs to a family member. So technically, the Platinum GameCube in the video that you guys saw is not my GameCube. It's a family member's GameCube. But because I went to GameStop, because that GameCube couldn't read discs, and I bought a black GameCube, now I technically do have a GameCube that's officially mine, that I actually bought with my own money. So technically I have a GameCube, but I have two of them in here for some reason. Yeah, and then the super slim PS3 is definitely not mine. But like we talked about this, it's like I don't think my friend's ever gonna ask for it back. That would be kind of awkward. But I don't really treat it as though it's officially mine, if that makes sense. It's kind of strange. It's like I'm holding on to it like it's some kind of heirloom or whatever that's just kind of like there. You're only gonna do PS3 stream and leave it at that. Yeah, I know, man. I went way too deep. I went way too deep on retro, and I don't think once I get out of this retro, what is even the word to describe this? Like I'm stuck in this I'm stuck in a hole where it's like I'm surrounded by the retro. Once I get out of this hole, there's gonna be no more retro. Like for a long time. There will be no retro for a long time. What really started this though, I blame the RAM prices. Memory prices. You know, like the inability to get hardware at a decent price. So I figured, well, okay, who cares about modern hardware? You can just get old hardware. Just go back to retro gaming, you know? But yeah, I'm done with consoles for now. Like, this thing about the Frankenstein PS3 thing is cool. I'm definitely gonna consider looking into that in the future, but I'm not gonna do it right now. Cause, I mean, I'll look into it, but I'm not gonna like pay that guy right now is what I'm saying. Because I am way over budget on retro consoles. If you guys didn't already figure that out based off of all the consoles that I have now. So there ain't no money for consoles for a good long while. Let's put it that way.
Get on it now. Time is money.
They've updated their stock.
I don't remember going to this part of the city. Is this new? I don't remember this in the previous game. This area where they can see like a fake Tokyo Tower. I see what they did there. The game designers literally took Tokyo Tower and Tokyo Skytree and fused them together and made that building in the distance. Because it has the top, the spire part, and then the weird like mesh at the bottom. That looks like the Skytree. That has the Skytree look. But then the base of this tower, that looks like the Tokyo Tower, and which is kind of like the base of the Eiffel Tower.
The economy's on the up and up.
Oh, they can't cross the street. This is not like Yakuza. They can't just go wherever they want. Oh, I know where they are now. This is okay. They went over here. Yeah, this is in the first game. All right. Well, I think this is a good stopping point. We have barely accomplished anything in the game. And we ended up, somehow, the PS3 managed to hijack this entire live stream and just turn it into a discussion about the PS3. So I guess this is a good stopping point. How do I go back to the starting area? Is this the right area?
I guess we're off.
Oh, this is the tower. They actually went to the tower. Yeah, this is new. This must have been in the second game, but I didn't play enough of the second game to see this. Well, you're better informed if you care about the PS3. I feel like if people who don't care about PS3 are probably like, what is this? Like, why is this guy still talking about PS3?
hosting an event about the space program. As an aspiring astronomer,
I didn't expect it to go into a cutscene that has no voices. Project Star Tech. Basically, what's happening in the game, for those that don't know, is the country that the main characters are based out of is planning to launch they're trying to send the first person into outer space. Is what they're doing. So there's all this stuff about the space program. It's supposed to be kind of like the space race back in the 1960s. Speaking of old hardware, the computers and the technology that they use to put people into outer space, man. You think about how that technology was.
Is that Van and his helpers I spy?
Oh, now there's a voice dialogue. Oh, but it's only halfway voiced? This must be countries to the east of Calvert.
What a fortuitous turn of events. I certainly wasn't anticipating your presence here. Could this be a sign, or a blessing even, from Arusha herself?
Or perhaps it's merely the result of how many ties we have in common.
Oh, okay, I know where they're from. Yeah, they're from the east. How come those guys are voiced but these guys aren't?
Is she serving as my sister's security detail while she's off traveling about? In her stead, Miss Second Lieutenant here is keeping a hawk's eye on my surroundings for me.
Frankly, I'm still at a loss for words. Never in my life did I expect to escort a prince to an idol show. Not to mention in such an open space, and without even clearing the perimeter.
You'll have to excuse my fondness for the energizing ambiance of these live shows. Besides, we needn't worry about snipers or assassins. After all, every pair of eyes, nefarious or no, are set on President Gramhart and his space program.
Perceptive as always. I, in particular, am in no position to turn down requests from the President.
Oh, I remember her. Wasn't she in Trails in the Sky? Yeah, these two were in Trails in the Sky. We saw them last year in the game with Estelle and Joshua. She was with the big guy. They're from some country in the east. I knew I recognized her from somewhere. The voice actress is the same actress also from that other game. It would be cool if Estelle and Joshua were in this game. I don't think they are. But it would be really nice if they were. Even if it was just as a cameo for like one cutscene. Alright, Marcelo. Yeah, we're at the end of the stream. Once I get back in control of the characters, I'm gonna save the game and quit out. But thanks for stopping by. That was a good discussion. I think now everybody is pretty clear on the differences between the older PS3s and the newer ones. And also the fact that there is an option for people who have a dead console to potentially get it repaired. Because there's not a lot of people that can offer that service, so that's definitely worth looking into. I mean, I personally knew that it was possible to transplant a 40 nanometer. I just don't have the equipment to do it myself. But it is good to know that there are people out there that offer it as a service. That are still around offering it as a service, considering the console is almost 20 years old. Okay. Alright, this is where I'm going to have to call it quits because we are over 3 hours now. So I am going to save. I'll just save over the... just save here, I guess. Act 1, Part 1. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this stream showcasing Trails Beyond the Horizon. We may do another stream featuring this game next weekend. But after that, we're not going to stream this game again. So if I can't finish it within the next 2 weeks, then I don't know if I'll be able to finish it for a good while. It's a good game. It's a very dialogue-heavy game, and sometimes that can be a little bit fatiguing. But if you like games that are character-driven and story-driven games that have lots and lots of characters and lots of dialogue, then this is probably a good game, so I recommend it for those type of people. Otherwise, it doesn't have a lot of, like, constant action. Like, this is no Elden Ring by any means. But it's a good quality game. They made their own game engine. You know, this is not any UE5 stuff like that or whatever. But anyway, that's going to be it. Hopefully, we're not going to talk about PS3 in the future. But if we do, we do. I don't know. But we are going to eventually go back to mainstream gaming in February. We definitely will in February. So the plan now, just to look at my schedule here, for those curious. So for February, I'm going to be covering Neo 3 and Resident Evil Requiem. Well, Resident Evil Requiem's at the end, so technically it doesn't count. Realistically, I'm going to cover Code Vein 2, Neo 3, and maybe one other game. And that other game will either be Romeo is a Dead Man or Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. There are a couple of other games that I wrote down, but I don't think I'm going to cover any of those. Maybe Tales of Berseria Remastered, but I didn't cover Tales of Exilia Remastered, so I'm probably not. There's a very low chance that I will actually cover that game. And Ys 10 Proud Nordics is another option, but realistically, I don't think I'm going to have time. So it's really just going to be Neo 3 and Code Vein 2 for February. Those two games are probably going to be enough to pull me out of this whole retro gaming hole that I've been stuck in for basically all of January, it seems. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this stream. Thanks for tuning in, as always. And if I don't see you guys next weekend, hopefully I will see you guys on Tech Thursdays at the normal time. Until then, take care, and I will see you guys then. Thanks.